Boosters. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another incredibly detail-oriented episode of the Center Beacon. In this episode, we're talking about boosters. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to do it. I'm not scared. I am going to tackle the controversy surrounding boosters. I'm going to tell you what I think, how they work, to the best of my ability, the best of my knowledge. We're going to have fun doing it, and then after the video, let's talk about it. Make sure you guys comment and do all those things and interact with me and let me know what you think. I don't put out many videos. I know people that it doesn't really work for YouTube's metrics and analytics. I don't really care. I do videos when I feel I have something important to say, but let's discuss this one because I feel like this is an important topic, so be sure to comment after the video. This is a guide video. I know I don't do a lot of guide videos. I don't like doing them because, frankly, most of the guide videos on YouTube are clickbait. You get things like 7 ways you're using your fork wrong, and then you click on it and you realize it's an idiotic video, so I don't really believe in too many guide videos. Y'all are smart enough to figure out most of this stuff on your own, so I really only do guide videos when I see a need to try to fill a void with Get Info, or if I happen to have a different take on things. So for this, I saw a lot of confusion and questions regarding boosters floating around out there, so here's some thoughts and info on how they work. So for starters, let me give you some of my thoughts. What I'm not exactly crazy about regarding boosters are the attack and defense boosters themselves. I feel like there is absolutely no shortage of power, firepower, hit points, defense, whatnot, special abilities at the highest tier of play in the game that we need more damage, more defense, stronger shields, so on and so forth. I feel like there's plenty of killing power and there's plenty of survivability in top tier play. I'll get into it again in a little bit more detail somewhere later in the video, but what I'd rather see with attack and defense is a system of give and take. Like, you can't run attack if you're running defense boosters, or vice versa. Something where you just can't have everything on top of an already super powered robot with these super powered weapons. Now, what I do like are the resource boosters. I think this is a great idea. This is something that doesn't harm anyone. It helps everyone. You can run these. You can trade some of your gold for all of the myriad of benefits, bonuses, different time windows that you can run these things that help you accumulate more keys, more silver, more honor points, and it just is a great way to help players progress. What I'm really kind of curious to see is how boosters are going to interact with modules, because a lot of the things that we've kind of read about with the forthcoming module system, the effects seem to be replicated between the two different mechanics in the game. There are like damage modules or defense modules or modules that create all these various effects, and some of them are kind of replicated with what we're already seeing with boosters. Modules are going to be a much more in-depth system from what I've read so far, but it's going to be kind of interesting to see, are we going to end up with super powered robots with tons of modules, and on top of that, we're running boosters that benefit attack and defense and all this stuff? It just seems like it's kind of getting crazy. Trust me, I have 5 children. I've got all the crazy I can handle. And again, so, let me know what you think in the comments. Let's talk about it. What do you think specifically? How are boosters going to interact with the module system? Or are they? For all I know, they delete boosters in the meantime. I don't really know. Tell me what you think and maybe how they should work together. So for now, let's go ahead and move from my thoughts and impressions on boosters, and let's get into the nitty-gritty of how they actually work. Okay, so now that I've given you my thoughts on the booster concept, let's take a look at how they actually work. This way, if we're going to be forced to use them and deal with them, we will know how to employ them, how they function, how they work, and all the little ins and outs. So first up, what are they? What do they do? Pretty obvious. You can see here I have my screen. This would show active boosters if I had any. Obviously, I don't have any. So let's go down to the 3 different categories. There are 3 categories of boosters: attack, defense, and resources. There are 8 different types of boosters. It looks more confusing than what it actually is. There are 2 different types of attack boosters. You have one that reduces the ability cooldown of your special ability if your robot has one. And you have increased damage. And that's it. 2 different types of attack boosters. All that changes in these different types of boosters is duration for attack, and that's about it. You go to defense. Defense is simply dealing with increasing your robot's hit points or durability. Shield capacity, if your robot has a shield, and I believe that does also increase the physical shield capacity as well as the energy shield capacity. And robot speed. And that's pretty much it for defense. Again, a bunch of different tiles in here, 3 different icons, a bunch of different tiles, just has to do with duration. You can see the bonuses applied are the same, 10% individual bonus, 2% group bonus. We'll talk about that in a minute. Final category, resources. This is the one category that I'm mostly, pretty much okay with. I like the resource category. I think we should do more in this department like I talked about earlier. But there's only 3 different kinds here. Again, there's a ton of tiles. They all have different time windows. These ones, the buffs, the bonuses, the boosts actually vary somewhat depending on which one you purchase or which one you earn. So you can see some of these are 40% to increase silver just for you for 30 minutes. Some are 50% and they give your buddies a 5% boost for 30 minutes. It just depends on what you want to buy, what you want to spend, and how long you want it to last, anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. And of course, we have the 3 different types of resource boosters. Earn more keys, earn more honor points, earn more silver. And that's it. That's really all there is. There's 8 different types, 3 different categories. So you can earn these in a couple of different ways. You can earn them through your clan tasks, which I had one in here earlier. I earned it. It was for like damage or something. Or obviously you can go to your booster button. We got so many buttons now. Too many buttons. Can't even see my robots anymore. Honestly, look at this. It's kind of sad. I got my Inquisitor over there. He's got his cool, like, royal blue and gold suit on. I can't even hardly see him. Go over here, that guy's cover. I can't see anything in here, man. Too many buttons. But anyways, you go to your booster button, and then you can see on some of these, like activate for free. And over here, you'll see these little numbers in white and black. Those are the number of charges that the booster has. A lot of the ones you earn for free, they seem to have multiple charges, which is cool. So you complete a task, you earn a booster, and you can use it repeatedly. You'll also be able to recharge them even while it's running. So if you don't want it to run out before you load into another game, you can click this thing. It'll say like and renew or activate again or something like that. And you can charge the thing back up for like, say, the full 2 hours in this case, or whatever it is, 1 day, 5 days, whatever it is you've got. If you've got multiple charges, that's a kind of a handy feature to have. And then obviously the other way to get them is to buy them. So they cost gold. For me personally, I don't use gold for a whole lot. So I tend to have a surplus of it. Every once in a while I buy gold deals occasionally, stuff like that. And so I tend to have a surplus. So for me, I kind of like that they're giving gold an actual valuable purpose. Again, you can actually use it for something that matters besides just upgrading to Mark II or speeding up builds. I like the idea behind having another useful aspect of the game to spend my gold on. So like boosters, again, I'm not, I talked about it earlier, how I feel about some of the boosters, but so if you're going to have something that you're going to introduce into the game, I like that gold is valuable again, I guess is what I'm going for there. The downside is that if you want these things to run continuously at high level play, which in order to be competitive, you're obviously going to need, you're going to have to spend, 500 gold. That's 1,000 gold right there just for the week, basically. Now, are you earning that back if you're playing a lot? Probably, most of it, some of it, especially if you're at a high level, but it is sort of pricey. Do you absolutely have to run boosters? No, not necessarily. Yes, you can compensate with, You can compensate with, I'm doing it again. You can compensate with skill, but you're making your job harder. If a guy is doing 5% more damage than you, or if it's squad play and he's doing 15% more damage than you, and we'll get into how these boosters stack in a few minutes, then you're kind of putting yourself behind the 8 ball to begin with. For lack of a better title, I am just going to call this section Important Details. There are a lot of details. There's a lot of nitty-gritty when it comes to boosters that they haven't quite explained fully. I want to make this as clear as possible for everyone using these so you get the most bang for your buck. Honestly, the way they've got these tiles set up, I kind of feel like I'm playing Jeopardy. Like I should be asking Alex to give me potent potables for 800 or something. We'll just remember to stay away from that therapist category. One of the first questions that I had when I saw the booster thing go live was, how many of these bad boys can I run run at once. And it turns out you can run all 8 different types at the same time. So you can have your 3 resource boosters rocking, you can have your 2 attack boosters, and you can have your 3 defense boosters all going at the same exact time. Now just hold up there for a second, QVC shoppers. Don't order yet, because there are some caveats to running 8 of these at the same time, and I'm going to tell you about them super soon. There's really only one caveat. I was trying to make it sound dramatic. It's just that boosters don't work in skirmish mode or custom game mode. Now we know that we can refill a booster of the same type anytime we want. We can see that in the graphics that I've got up on the screen there, and it's just a matter of adding another booster of the exact same type to keep the effect up and running. But what if you want to change it with the same effect but a different duration? Then you get this screen. And basically all that's doing is just giving you the option to make up the difference in gold for the increased duration or the increase to, say, a modifier you didn't have before. Like before you had a personal bonus and now you want to upgrade it to one that has the same effect but a group bonus as well, then you just use this. Small detail, but I thought I'd demonstrate it. Let's talk about cost effectiveness of these things, and then in a little bit we're going to get into how they stack. That's where the really important stuff is. But let's talk about cost effectiveness. As is almost always the case, it's cheaper to buy in bulk. When I go to the store, I never buy just one hot dog. I always buy like 500, and then you get to make it up in savings. Note to self, remove hot dog joke before posting video, because what I'm doing with 500 hot dogs could be grossly misinterpreted. I took the liberty of doing some maths here. Maths are not my strong suit whatsoever, but I think I did this right. Let me know if I didn't. I won't change it, but you get the idea that I care, or at least the perception that I care. So I did the math, and these are the cost effectiveness breakdowns of each different category and what it's going to cost you in gold per hour of usage. So I just used the defense boosters as an example here. Attack is the same thing. The cost breakdowns are the same. I'm going to let you guys figure out the resources one on your own, because there are so many different ones, and the resource ones, like I mentioned earlier, are unique, where some of the effects that are offered, the boosts, say you're getting more keys, you're getting more silver, whatever it is, on some of them, not only does the duration vary, but the bonus that you get applied to your personal accumulation of resources or the group bonus towards accumulation of resources varies depending on which one you purchase. So you guys figure out there, but it looks to me like basically the more you buy in bulk, the cheaper it is, the better the value you're getting for your gold. So the takeaway here is obviously buy the 5-day ones, particularly for attack and defense. I find myself usually using those, but I do also sometimes when they run out, I will purchase like the 2-hour one. If I know I'm just going to be able to jump on for a few matches, I'll get the 2-hour one or whatever it is, because 500 gold per booster, it adds up quick. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're buying all the attack ones, you're buying all the defense ones, maybe you've even got some resource ones running as well, it adds up quick. So just running the 2 attack and 3 defense, you're looking at something like 2,500 gold just for a 5-day period. But that does end up being your best value. If you nickel and dime it with the 2-hour ones, like the ones that cost 50 gold, you can see on the screen on the graphic there that I made, it's way more expensive. You can see just how many more times more expensive it is. It's like 5-6 times as expensive to run the shorter duration ones than it is to purchase the 5-day ones. Okay, so we've talked about almost everything that I want to cover in this video except for the most important thing, and that is stacking. The way that the individual and group bonuses stack when you are in a squad. Now, these effects only apply if you are in squad with clanmates. That's how they work to my knowledge at this point of the video. They only work with squadded clanmates. So if you're in a random squad with randoms, you're not getting any kind of stacking bonuses. If you're in a random squad with clanmates who just happen to be tossed into the mix via matchmaker and not in squad with you, they also don't apply. You have to be in a squad and they have to be in your clan for these things to stack. This isn't rocket science by any means, but I'm going to quickly throw up the maths on how they stack so you can get an idea and refer back to it if you need on exactly how much damage you're doing, so you can look at your builds, your robots, your weapons, and get an idea of the increase in performance that you're gaining, whether it's damage or shield capacity agility or speed or what have you. So to the best of my knowledge, this is how the formulas are supposed to work. Again, this is not like high math or anything. This is not like, we're not doing astrophysics here. We're doing some real basic math. I had to kind of think back, like, do what's in parentheses first, and then, like, do what's outside of parentheses. So all these things were coming back to me from, like, 3rd grade, which is as far as I went in school. But this is what I've been told by Pixonic. I've requested information. This is as much as I've gotten. So for right now, this is the way that they are supposed to work to the best of my knowledge. So what are we looking at? We are looking at your individual bonus. It's either going to be 5 or 10%. Now, I'm not going to get, again, resources. I'm not going to talk about resources because they have all these wazoo different values and bonuses and stuff. Some of it's like 150% personal bonus, whatever. You can figure that stuff out on yourself. Mostly what I'm concerned with, because it's what directly affects the meta of the game, is attack and defense. So those are the ones that I'm throwing up examples for. So you have your personal bonus, set that aside, and then do the maths on whoever you have that's in your clan and in your squad, like I mentioned before. However many guys you have, either it's one guy with you or it's all the way up to 5 guys with you, or girls, then you get a 2% bonus for each one of those people. So it's just going to be that 2% times 5 or whatever it is going to give you the other percentage bonus to whatever the modifier is, whether it's damage, speed, shield, hit points, and then you're just going to add those 2 percentages. So it's either going to be 15% for damage or it's going to be 20% for like speed, shield, health, what have you. Those are the maximums. So it's either going to be that if you have a full squad, or it's going to be somewhere in between if you're running 2 guys with you, 3 guys with you, and you all remember to have like the same boosters or what have you. The special ability cooldown booster is the outlier here. It's like a unicorn. It's in the attack category, but it gets the same bonuses, or I should say it yields the same bonuses that the defensive boosters yield. It's a 10% personal buff and a 2% group buff. Kind of important because it lets you hit that special ability, especially if you're running a Spectre or something. You're running that special ability much more frequently, which ultimately translates to more DPS. Or is it DPM? Or maybe DP... damage per battle, damage per booster, OPP. I'm not really sure. It's something like that though. That last joke was inappropriate. I'm telling you what, I'm losing it at the end of this video here. I need to reel it in. So just as a quick example of how powerful these boosters are and how they can enhance and affect, you know, not only your gameplay but the meta of the game. So say you're running the special ability cooldown booster or the SAC DB, as I dub it. From henceforth, it will be known as the SAC DB. I just kind of like that. It has a nice ring to it. So your cooldown on say something is like 18 seconds for your jump stealth or whatever you're talking about. Spectre or what have you. If you are running in a full squad of clan mates, then you're going to get a total bonus of a 20% faster recycle on that special ability. So instead of 18 seconds, you're going to be ready to jump stealth again in 14.4 seconds. Just be aware on this one that the math works out to decimals, but it looks like for on-screen user interface purposes, they're just rounding it. So if it's 14.4, you're going to see 14. If it's like 15 and change, you might only see 15 seconds when you're cool cooldown recycles. So it's still going to take you 15 point however many tenths of a second to reuse your special ability, but for display purposes, it's only showing a nice round figure. I'm not going to go through a bunch more examples and throw numbers up on the screen. You guys are smart. You can figure this stuff out, and for God's sake, help me if I've gotten something wrong or if I'm not tracking or I'm missing some sort of maths where I was sleeping in 6th grade, because trust me, I was. Let me know. But to my understanding, that's roughly what we're talking about here. So they are powerful. They are powerful, and like I said, you don't have to run them, but you know, it's kind of like you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're not. So it's kind of good and bad. Like I said earlier in the video, honestly, I don't really care for the damage and defense boosters. I don't really want those in the game, but if they insist they be there, or maybe I'm in the minority and a lot of players really love the things, I think they should work differently, where you have to sacrifice something to get something else. So if you run a damage booster, you can't run a defense booster, or if you run a defense booster, you can't run a damage booster, something where there's a give and take so that you can't just have everything. Like Tom Brady, good looking, greatest of all time, and married to Giselle. It's just not fair. For my European viewers and fans of the other football, think David Beckham and Posh Spice. We're a multicultural show here, people. What I would like to see are boosters of a nature that purely help players instead of, you know, basically help some players destroy other players. That's not really what I think we need at this point. I get get that it could be fun for some people. I get that some people like this type of stuff. You know, this is stuff you see in other games, but I like the resource boosters because it's just all positive. Everybody wins. You're getting more silver, you're getting more keys, you're getting to those battle rewards faster, you're getting to chests faster, you're earning more honor points, you know, and all these things that just help you progress. I would like to focus on those and not affect the meta of the game any more than what we have, because I feel like the current bots and weapons are plenty powerful. So boosters, they seem to kind of maybe be a temporary rollout. Don't quote me, for goodness sakes. It's just my impression. The way they sort of like led into the booster release seems maybe like they're kind of testing it, but yet just on the live servers. So maybe there's a chance they'll pull the attack and defense ones, because I don't really care for them, and I don't think they're helping anybody really kind of enjoy the game more. You know, it's like an Orc Inspector already like melts your face in 2 seconds, and now it's like doing it in 1 second instead with, you know, some rockets to spare. Doesn't necessarily make anything more fun for me personally. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's talk about it. This is pretty much everything that I wanted to cover on boosters. This should help you guys get like maybe hopefully a clearer understanding, unless I'm just like on some alcohol fueled nightmare where this makes sense to me, but when you guys hear it, it's going to be gibberish. Let me know what you think. And that's pretty much going to do it for this video. Again, if I missed anything, if I messed anything up, let me know in the comments. Be nice about it, because I'm super sensitive right now. Don't hurt my feelings. I had a rough day. I'm just kidding. I don't have any feelings. And let's talk about it. So I think this video is a little bit longer. It's a little bit more detailed. My bulwark guide was kind of the same way. I had a lot of good positive response to that. So if this is what you want to see, let me know. If you want kind of more cursory, light and fluffy unicorns and fairies videos, let me know that too. I won't do them, but you can always tell me about it. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say about these boosters in the comments. And as always, I will see you next time at the Center Beacon.